Hi, hello Guillermo.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
I'm I'm good. I was about to close.
Ah, sorry,
Yes,
I was
don't worry.
late. I'm late.
Yeah, don't worry. So let's begin. Well, actually, if you remember, on the first days, now the course we started talking about the um, how in the section of speaking, right?
Yes.
But we start doing about the speaking integrated. No,
Yes.
is about they had to read and you had to listen, then you give your opinion about that, and all related about what you read and heard. Now we are going to check the first one, that is the independent. Yeah, because you had to remember that you in this section, the speaking section, you have four types that are the independent, the first question, the second question is integrated, the the third question is reading and lecture, and the fourth question is just a lecture. Okay, so all this information that we have seen here, you already know.
Yes.
Yes, the question one is called an independent speaking task because it requires you to draw and tally on your own ideas, opinions, and experience when you respond. That's what is called independent. You don't read anything. You will get 15 seconds to prepare, and then you have to speak only 45 seconds. Okay, but the thing is, everything by your own. Okay, the same thing. Your response should be coherent, should contain good grammatical structure, good vocabulary, well structured, and few fillers ideas like the hesitations
Okay.
here. Okay, well, let me see. Okay, in the independent speaking questions, they will be asking you to do different things. Like in question one, you'll be presenting which two situations or opinions. You'll be asked which you prefer or what do you need to explain your preference. Okay, so there are three types. Number one, use the preparation times to organize your thoughts and maybe jot down some notes. Don't try to write a full response because you won't have time. And the rate scoring your response want to hear is in the speaking, not reading. This is important because at the time that you are delivering your answer, it should sound very natural. Okay, it's not like you need to read. Yes, you can use a template that also we are going to check later on. But the response, actually, you only have 15 seconds to prepare. Remember in the previous and the question 2, 3, and 4, you have 30 seconds to prepare, but here only have 15, and you had to speak 45. Okay.
Okay.
Second advice is don't memorize response before the test, especially ones that you get from the internet that says that's a good idea. Maybe it's not. Some other people that say it is really good because you have an idea how what to say. So also depends on you. How can you manage and memorizing? And the thing is, when you deliver your response, try to not sound that you are reading or your answer sounds memorized, because they check that and it's like, he has memorized this thing. Or maybe the template that you are using is a little different about the content that they are asking. So you had to be careful with that also. And the third, it is not necessary to organize your response into an introduction, a middle, and a conclusion like you would with a written essay. just to speak naturally and use common connecting words. Some of those are because, so, after that. On the other hand, I want to mention, and what this means is, so in this section in the independent, is better when it sounds more natural, sounds logical, sounds not prepared, because supposedly it is spontaneous at the moment. Okay, the topics are not necessarily academic, but some of them are related to it. Okay, so the thing is that you need to sound very comfortable with your answer. Okay, like you are speaking with a friend, something like that. Even your opinion. Here, you will be checked about three things like delivery, the language use, and the topic development. In the delivery, you know, is the way you speak. It has to be clear, fluid, good pronunciation, and the pace you or the speed that you speak should be according to you. Don't um, don't don't do it differently. Like you can't, because it could sound like a robot, or maybe it could sound like you are rushing, and maybe you can lose some points because of that, because maybe they don't understand your point of view. So relax, speak as normal, use your own pace, and remember, you're speaking with your friend. The language use, it's mainly how you use grammar and vocabulary to express your ideas. Remember, the language use is all you have learned since you started learning English. Now, the grammar, vocabulary, all the structures, and so on. How do you express all that? In the topic development, this is mainly how fully you answer the question, how clearly you express your ideas, and how you can connect one idea to the next in a way that it's easy to follow. As I said, if you use correct connectors, to structure your answer like a normally speaking. Okay, so just make an effort with that. We have some tips here. Here they ask, for example, what is best? What do you prefer? Eating in a special restaurant or eating in the street? They are asking you what you prefer. So it's not necessary if you are 100% honest, right? You can lie. They don't know, because it's a normal question. It's a, like you're speaking with your friends. And yeah, I love to eat in the street, especially with Doña Chonita's restaurant. No? And you mention an example, a real example, even though it is not exactly real. You can mention like Doña Chonita, like Doña Lupe, things like that. Okay, and you give your specific point. Um, it is okay, but you need to be specific, like that, Doña Chonita, Doña Remedios, Doña whatever. Yeah, I like to go to the Lapa Lapa. This is a restaurant from Mexico. I don't know, and you explain a little more about that. That your example is so realistic that you can use it. And just mention, don't spend too much time explaining detailed about that. Only mention your example, some details, not a lot, because you only have 45 seconds. Okay. And one advice that you can do at the when you practice by yourself is do it in front of a mirror. You know, the cliche that they say, like do it in front of a mirror, record yourself, speak with a friend, etc. all that actually works. Okay, it is useful when you're doing correctly. Like search on YouTube, question 1 IBT TOEFL practice, and there are a lot of examples, and you can search one, play it. Maybe it's a video, you can play it and answer. Record yourself, and then you can analyze if you did correctly or not, depending on your answer. Okay. Now, if you are not used to very advanced words, like we say the other time, you remember, we need to polish. You need to practice a lot that make you feel confident about those words. But if you feel like, okay, I try, but I'm not comfortable using them, well, avoid them.
Okay.
Because the thing is, at the time when you wanted to use it, maybe you get stuck because you're not used to use them. Okay, so if you feel comfortable and now you can use advanced words, go ahead. It's better if you can use it. But if you are not comfortable, anyway, try to avoid them, because at the end depends on how you develop your answer. Okay. Now, when you prepare, you only have 15 seconds. Okay. They usually ask, what do you prefer? What is your position? What do you think is good? They ask something that they usually ask your position on something. So you need to ask that question, like, decide your position, right? So in the first, you have 45 seconds. In the first 5 seconds, 10 seconds maximum, you say and explain your position. Like, I do agree with this, or I prefer eating in a restaurant than in the street vendor, whatever. That's only the 5th second. And the rest, you had a time to give examples, realistic examples, so you don't spend much time on that. Okay. Think of or make up a short example for one argument. You can talk about college students, video conference, research, books, impossible to make HV video calls, but that's things that you can be asked for. Okay, so they could ask different things like, what do you prefer, reading in a library or reading on the internet? It's faster to read, not faster. All that depending on you. Okay. So when you give your examples, be sure that examples are personal, something that happened to you. Mention people that you actually know. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, my friend Juanito is hilarious because he makes a lot of jokes and I'm very funny. Example. We don't know Juanito, but you are mentioning a real example. That's what they want, real experience. Okay. So you always speak in the first person, like, I have a friend, my friend is, the other time I was in here, etc. But remember, when you are telling a story, you're speaking past mostly, right? I was there, I went here, because you're giving your example. You need something real, so it happens in the past, right? Okay, so you had to present general examples and some facts, realistic things. Okay, so then you can use this template. Look, let's take a look. That it says, I definitely think that, you express your idea. First, give an argument, explain a little more, and then a good example of this is give an example. If you have time, or be sure that you have time, give another example. In addition, give another argument, explain a little more, and give an example. For instance, and you exemplify with a short story. And at the very last part, if you have time, use a short conclusion. Remember, the conclusion is always summarizing the introduction. So at the end, you only repeat the same, like, and for those reasons, I think that eating in a street vendor is cheaper. And you are mentioning that you agree with and you support the first idea, and that's it. Okay. Do you have any question here?
No, it's clear.
Good.
I'm taking notes.
Now, this, you can take a screenshot or whatever that you can use to practice. Remember, this is a template. It's not mandatory that you have to use it. You can modify as you wish. Okay? If you can add or you can change the connectors, even better. Okay? Now, let's see an example. It says, if friends from another country were going to spend time in your country, what city or place would you suggest they visit? Using details and examples, explain why. Okay? So, for this example, we don't have time. It's okay. But prepare your answer. Tell me when you're ready. When you're ready, you have prepared.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Correct. Okay, let me take the time here on my phone. So you have to reach 45 seconds. Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Go.
I definitely think that a good place for going is, in my country, is Lago Titicaca. Titicaca Lake is highest lake in the world. So it's a very interesting place in which you can fish, you can eat delicious a delicious meal, and having fun with the locals. For example, in my personal opinion, I went to Titicaca Lake a few times, and I was really good experience. That was 45 seconds.
Time. 45. You spend 40 seconds.
Yeah, okay.
That's good. That's good. Okay. At least, very at least, you have to reach the 40 seconds. Okay. With that, it's okay. Because you already explained the examples and you give personal examples, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't watching a clock, so I wasn't know where was I.
It's hard when you don't know, when you don't see the clock. I'm gonna put it in here right now, but this is just to see it. Now here the prompt says, if friends from another country were going to spend time in your country, what city or place would you suggest they visit? Okay. What city or place? Correct. Here you mentioned 2, or the Titicaca Lake. And the other, which one is?
No, was only the Titicaca Lake.
Titicaca.
I hesitate there because I said the name in Spanish, Lago Titicaca.
But
And-
you correct yourself, and that's even better, okay? Because you didn't say like, sorry, no Spanish, and no, you fix yourself, like saying the Titicaca, Lago Titicaca, no, Titicaca Lake. That's correct. It's self-correction. It is also good. It helps you, gives you points.
okay, but
Yeah.
I don't know. In general, when you're talking about I don't know, a street or some name in Spanish, you have to translate the name, or I don't know, maybe a street 15 de septiembre. I don't know.
Yeah, only the way 15 September Street.
Okay.
Only the form of Youth Express, because it's a name. But also you can translate it because you know how to say it in English, that like September 15th Street. It is also okay. It doesn't matter
Okay.
because it's actually the name of that thing. It's a noun. It's like I say with Guillermo. No, sounds weird for us because we know that Guillermo is your name.
Okay. Okay.
So it's the same thing. That's the problem we have, for example, in food. Like, for example, here in Campeche, we say, okay, the best food you need to try when you come to Campeche is baby shark. What do you understand by baby shark?
Yeah, baby shark. A small shark.
But it is actually well, the complete name is baby shark breath. In Spanish is pan de cazón. Okay, I don't know if you know it.
Yeah, I hear about it.
Okay, so pan de cazón is very special here in Campeche.
Sorry, teacher, give me 5 seconds.
Sure.
Sorry, teacher.
No worries, no worries. Okay, so I was saying
Baby shark. Yeah.
baby shark breath. It's a famous or kind of famous dish here, but it isn't a breath. No, it's not like a panini or something like that. No, it's tortilla with this shark meat on top, like this. It goes tortilla meat, and the fish.
Okay.
And that's the baby shark breath. But we can say that it's pan de cazón. That is the name of the dish. Yeah. Okay. Now let's go for another one. Okay. For this time, the prompt says, some people enjoy taking risks and trying new things. Others are not adventurous. They are cautious and prefer to avoid danger. Which behavior do you think is better? Explain why. For this, you have 15 seconds. Okay, and prepare your answer. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and you got 45 seconds. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I definitely think that taking risk and trying new things is better for the following reasons. First one, I think that if you don't try new things, you're never going to have new experience. And if you're never going to have new experience, you're not going to develop your life and your personality. For example, if I never went to a crazy trip with my friend, I never met my actual wife. So that was an adventure, and I tried new things, and this is my gift for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm single. I don't know.
No, that's good. You see, you don't have to be really honest, and that's a very important example that made your wife. That is like, wow. So that's why it's very important, and it's not true. So it's amazing example. Now here, maybe you can your tense when you said I never went. I never went to this trip. In this case, because you are expressing, it's better when you say I have never gone.
Okay.
Yeah, using the perfect.
Yeah.
And the same with the result. I could never meet my wife. I couldn't meet my wife. Or like using a first condition, like if I didn't go, I couldn't meet my wife. No. So with that, this you can use, but yeah, in this case, you could have some little troubles with your tense and that expression,
Okay.
because yeah, you are narrating an experience, and mostly we use perfect in that tense. Okay.
Yeah. When I narrate experience, I use present perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's something that you have done in your life, and I have been doing this. I have this. Or if you have a concrete example, like I went to Titicaca Lake the last year, and I have been for many days in there. Different, okay? But you need to use correctly, accurately the tense when you explain. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay. But this time I feel more comfortable. I think that I hesitate less.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Only that part you mentioned. As I told you, that your example, amazing. Okay. Now, um, in the time that you're doing this, there are at least 6 types of prompt. That are the prompt types. Okay. Remember, in the independent task, you have the 15 seconds, the 45 seconds to speak, but you need to know the prompt. The prompt types are, for example, like, why do people travel? Develop your opinion using examples and reasons. Okay, we are going to see later the next day the types. Now we're going to check how can you develop your answer. Okay, so for example, this is an essay. Look at it. It's long, right? You have the introduction, one example in reason, another example in reason, another example in reason, and at the end the conclusion. Well, you won't have to say all that, right? So you need to summarize the main idea only and start doing your introduction, that actually the introduction and the conclusion are not like very important, we could say it. We only establish the context. The important thing, what they really want to know, is about the body. All the examples you mentioned, they focus on it. So the intro in this case says, because I am a scientist, I use many technologies. However, I can honestly say that the technology that has changed my life the most is the internet. And establishing the context of what is the person going to talk. Okay. And here, from the big examples, this person chose the first one, and that's it, very quickly. And at the end, the conclusion, like in sum, the internet has changed my life the most. And that's it, boom, finish. Okay, because you don't have enough time to do it. You finish with it. Now be careful. In all the some other books, you can find this. This, for example, is better or more easily to think about at the time of the TOEFL in the writer section, reading section, because you have time, well, a little time to ask and think if your essay is organized, progressive, your development is good or not, unity, the language used, you can revise. But at the time of the speaking, well, you have 15 seconds to prepare all this and then speak. And the speaking, it's like it's spontaneous. But the important thing is that your speaking should be coherent and independent.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Now, what does they check in the delivery? When you speak, the speaking raters will measure your proficiency of your delivery in these three areas: the fluency, the automaticity, and the pronunciation. Fluency is how natural you speak, not how fast you speak or how slow. It's how natural. Because not a saying speaking fast, that is speaking natural. If you naturally speak fast, is another thing. But what they really want is to see that you are speaking natural. Okay. The automaticity is, when you're learning English, some people say, okay, you had to do the switch, your mentality. Like you start thinking in English and stop thinking in Spanish when you're saying, because when we learn, we start translating and then say, right? So here, what they want is that you automatically, your thoughts are in English, and what you're saying is in English, you're speaking. Not like think in Spanish, process, translate, and speak in English. No, it takes a lot. And the correct pronunciation, that in this case, that is related to the practice and how do you say the words. You have accurate intonation or not. Okay, so also that is important.
Yeah, teacher, sorry, I have a question. Well, between us, you think that like I have a good pronunciation or?
Yes, you do. You have a good pronunciation. The only thing is, for example, those, as I told you, the little problems on the tenses or the little problems, for example, the last time in your typing, that's
Okay.
that's the only thing. But your pronunciation is natural, sounds fine, sounds good. Okay, so you can speak like normal. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, thanks.
I only hear like 2 or 3 times that you say a word different. For example, you say the word comfortable, you say like comfortable, something like that.
Yeah, comfortable.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. I think I have that one.
yeah, things like that. Only that, but it's something that you need to practice. No, you need to, and that is only practicing like watching movies or speaking with foreign people. Only that way you can improve your speaking. Speak. That's the way. So far, you're doing great. Now, for this section, for this independent, all the speech will be related to you. So it is important that you speak subjectively. Yeah, it means that you have to speak about yourself. Like I did this, and I did those, and then and I. For example, look, hi, my name is Liliana. I am an architect from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Last year, I graduated from university. Now I'm working for an architect in Barcelona, Spain. I have been so busy, but I love it. It's like a dream come true. Next year, I will return to Argentina and start my own business. So here is natural because he's telling the story about herself. I am here. I did this. I have this. I. Everything is about herself. So the experience about herself are comfortable because uh, it's her, no? And the time you're gonna be the person. So when you say, I was here, I visited here, I met these people, etc. But something that you did, okay?
Okay,
Now,
okay.
um, when you say, do you manage, do you handle using um, idioms? Do you know the idioms? And you can use a lot of idioms like natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Few months,
So,
yeah.
for example, when this person says, it's like a dream come true. This is kind of an idiom, right?
Yeah.
So when they are expressing this, sounds natural, sounds confident, because the person is related to that, and she can mention it.
Yeah, I can use I don't says is
Idioms.
idioms. I can use an idioms to like a connector.
Mhm.
Like it's a dream come true and pass to the next idea.
Yeah, it's something you add another comment, and that's it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Okay. Now, let's go quickly step by step what you had to do. For example, in the basic response, you have to have in mind three things: the intro, the example, and the conclusion. Again, intro and conclusion are not that important. What is important is the example.
Okay.
The prompt here says, why do people travel? Develop your opinion using examples and reasons. So having this in mind, you say, personally, travel to learn. For example, Manhattan.
Mhm.
For those reasons, I like to travel. That. And
Okay.
this is the structure, is this is the way that you can organize your ideas. You want to say this at the first, this example, and the conclusion at the end, like if you want to or not. So only having that in mind, preparing in the 15 seconds, you can use that example, like Manhattan, and you can explore that experience in Manhattan. Okay, so you might have something like this. Yeah. That it says, personally, I like traveling because it is a learning experience. For example, last year I went to Manhattan. I visited many famous places like the Met and Radio City Music Hall. The most interesting place was Ground Zero. Ground Zero is where the World Trade Center once stood. Now it's nothing but a big hole. On TV, it doesn't look so big, but seeing it in person, I had no idea it was so huge. It's like a big hole in the heart of the city. Looking at it made me realize that sometimes you just have to see things with your own eyes. That way, you can understand what really happened. For those reasons, traveling to Manhattan was definitely a great learning experience for me. And that's it. As you can see, introducing in the first line, that's why it doesn't take like 5 seconds only. Like personally, I like traveling because it is a learning experience. Uh, and that's it. You don't say more. What is important is you're developing your answer. Okay, something like that. But the next Thursday, we're gonna finish looking these examples and maybe practice a little more. Anyway, tomorrow you had to have more practice to see. Okay. So
Okay.
far, do you have any question?
No, I'm fine. I did my last, what do you say? The last example. No, the last exam, the last TOEFL in the page.
The simulation, yeah.
Simulation.
Correct.
And
how was it?
It was okay. And the reading was, the first two readings, I only have 2 mistakes. Mm-hmm. But the third one, I was tired actually. And I committed a lot of mistakes. I think I have 5 mistakes or something like that. Oh. Also in the listening. At the beginning, I was fine. But the last 2 was, I was super tired for that.
I guess. I bet you were. Yeah, remember you need to have free that time, like the 3 hours doing it. It is tiring. It's exhausting. Anyway, it's worthly.
Yeah. Okay. So see you
next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Right.
Correct.
See you next Thursday, teacher.
See you. Thank you. Bye.